this right now. Fire right now. Jeez. All right. All good. So we're setting intention and we're going all in, right? The purpose of this mastermind, the content into clients mastermind, is so that we are building authority so that people know who we are. I was having a conversation with Roxy yesterday. She was telling me about a podcast. What was the name of the podcast, Roxy, that the lady, it's like a $125 million podcast? Bop, boop, beep. Oh, she'll come back. No, she'll come back anyway. So this podcast that the lady was that she had put together, valued at 125 million, right? I have never heard of this person, which means that nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are. And if we're not positioning ourselves in a way where people can find you and know exactly what it is that you do and how you help, they can't buy from you. I don't know if you guys have Googled yourselves in the last week. Have you guys done this? Why don't you guys go ahead and Google yourselves real quick and see what pops up?
You can also ask ChatGPT or Cloud to do it.
That too. Yeah. As a matter of fact, AI, as we're moving more and more into AI, you're going to start seeing um you're going to start seeing that omnipresence is key. You have to be everywhere. Like easy things to do to get everywhere is to be creating content on a regular basis, which is why part of what we're doing today is action taking. What I figured is I could sit here and pontificate all day for a complete hour, and that's great. And I can give you guys the tactics and I can answer questions. However, if we can take action on a weekly basis and make sure that we're hitting KPIs and we're doing the thing, we're going to get further along. We're going to create the confidence. We're going to eliminate head trash because
Mhm.
when we're trying to grow a business, right? When we're trying to grow our confidence and our authority, we've got to create action. What does that mean? That means we got to create content. Are we creating content on a regular basis? How many people are? Is anybody creating video content on a regular basis? Yes? Okay, great. We need to be creating content on a regular basis and posting across platforms. And it's super easy to do. It is not that difficult. I think we get in our own way about it when it's super easy. I had a conversation with Roxy yesterday when we were having a discussion, and she just starts going into her zone of genius, right? And I'm like, that's a video. Like, that's a video. What do you mean? Like answering that question, that's a video. Why are you not recording that? Why are you not putting that out? So when you guys are in that zone of genius and you guys are explaining things and you're flexing and people, and you're sharing that information with people, they're going to resonate. Not everybody's going to resonate, but that's okay. We don't need everybody to resonate. We just need the right people to resonate. So, with that being said, this is what I want everybody to do right now. I want to open up ChatGPT or Claude. Does everybody know how to operate AI right now? Yes, I hope so. If you guys don't understand how AI works, I would really highly suggest you start doing that as soon as possible. So let's go to Claude or let's go to AI, whatever you guys want to do. And we're going to input our zone of genius and the one offer that we know is the thing that we're trying to push, right? So, Coach Kev, you're working on its mindset, right, for entrepreneurs. So, I want you to put into ChatGPT what what are the some of the head trash, the limiting beliefs that these entrepreneurs have regarding their mindset, why it's important, feed it information on what your offer is, how you help, if it's one-on-one coaching, if it's a group consulting program, if it's a cohort, if it's a 6 week program, whatever it is. And I want you to feed that into ChatGPT. And you guys can do that now, and then I'll give you guys a second prompt here after you guys get that information in. Let me know when you guys are done. Also, if you're not using Whisperflow, I've already explained how awesome it is to help you just verbalize instead of having to type everything. Whisperflow is just incredible.
Okay, what is Whisperflow? Now that I have to ask.
Whisperflow is an app that connects to your phone and your laptop. And with one button, it's an auto dictation app, but it's like 1,000 times better than what Apple and all these other auto dictation apps are doing. Like it will, because it's using AI to fix it in real time. So, and it also in your emails, it will make it here. I'll show you what I mean.
Can you do it on PC or it just has to be?
I don't know. Like here, look, David Arado, right? Hey, David. Yeah, we are on currently. Let me know if you are having problems logging in. Thanks, Armando. You see how it already makes it the
Yes.
template? It just
Yes.
saves so much time. Saves so much time. In the last 8 weeks, it saved me 20 hours of typing time. So you guys are, everybody's super busy. Everybody wants more time. I will highly recommend getting this app because it's just going to help you. So, with that being said, let me know when you guys are ready for the second piece of this puzzle. Jennifer, you ready? Kev, you ready? Mason, Roxy, Beezer, you ready?
I am.
Okay, cool. All right. So now what I want you guys to do is I want you to go in there and I want you to ask ChatGPT or Claude, say, hey, based on what I do, here, I'll put it in the chat so that you guys just can copy and paste. Based on what I do and what my offer is, I want you to create 10 viral hook style questions that I can answer for social media. Make sure that it has a nice hook and I can make it a watchable video. All right. So go ahead and copy that and put it into ChatGPT and it should pop up like 10. All right, give me some what does it say, Jennifer?
Do you know what the number one mistake I made with my health as a busy entrepreneur? Oh, I did mine more me centric. What
That's
is your
fine.
thoughts on that?
That's
Is that
fine.
okay?
Completely
Okay.
fine.
Um, what if I told you I only started seeing results when I stopped trying to be perfect?
Okay, so let's back up. Let's go to the first
Okay.
question.
Mhm.
I want you to I want you to say the line and then I want you to answer the question and try to keep it to 60 seconds. Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's roll.
Do you know what the number one mistake I made with my health as a business entrepreneur was and how it almost cost me my confidence? Blah.
One more time.
Stop.
One more time. Here's a
Wait.
really good tip too. When you guys are doing content and you're getting like this mud mouth type of deal, and you want to really focus on getting super articulate, try some tongue twisters. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, unique New York, unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Say that a few times, and then once you start talking, it'll just be so much easier. So that's what I find when I'm doing like teleprompter work, or I'm answering questions, or I'm doing content, and I start to get this mush mouth type of deal and everything's just kind of running together. Do a couple of red leather, yellow leather, do a couple of unique New Yorks, whatever the ship shapes, sir, whatever, tongue twister you can do, and that'll help you get out of that set. So go ahead and
You
give
can
me.
also you can also just real quick, you can also just stretch your mouth out, which you're gonna feel real weird doing it, but like open your mouth wide and like move your mouth around. Like it really helps to loosen up your face, and then you can speak a whole lot clearer. You'll feel weird doing it, but it really works.
Yeah. So when I'm on set, and I'm about to go, I'm always, red leather, yellow leather, unique New York, unique New York. Make sure you really articulate, and then roll. So go ahead, Jennifer.
All right. Do you know what my number one mistake that I made in my health as a busy entrepreneur was? Well, it was thinking that exercise had to be mandatory and was all about weight loss. Instead, I shifted my mindset that I moved to make my body feel good and to get the energy flowing into my brain. You can too.
Beautiful. Done. That's a video. That's a
Did
video.
you record that?
I recorded it. But what I'm saying, what I would
No,
do,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, but what I would do is I would grab your
All
phone,
right. Mhm.
right? And just knock it out. Answer,
Yep.
do the viral hook, answer the question, and you're done. And then you can just put it out, right? Like
Yep.
I think people overthink everything. And it's because I think they're bringing in the editor way too early. Everybody wants to be perfect. And so I've done improv for years. I've studied improv in LA and New York and Atlanta, all these different places. And it's been an amazing journey. But the thing that you learn about improv is that if me and Mason are building something together and we don't know where it's headed, we're building a story together. And I start to overthink what the story is. And I'm putting in all of my head trash and I'm just really like just second guessing myself at every turn. Reason why creating content on a regular basis is so good for you is it becomes a way for you to resonate and reinforce your messaging to yourself. That's why you create content on a regular basis. I don't I don't want you guys to be concerned with people watching your content. Do not be concerned with it. Vanity metrics, all that BS, like don't worry about that. I want you to create content for you. Create content for your message. Create content so that you can reinforce what it is that you're doing. And if you're on brand, and if you're talking about the one thing over and over and over and over and over again, people are going to start to see it. And you'll go, well, Armando, I'm just saying the same shit over and over again. I'm like, bingo, bingo. Why? Because the message is what's important. And you got to hit these people over the head at least 17 times for a prospect to become a client. 17 times. They have to hear you, see you. Now, why is it so important to really pick the one thing and go all in on it? Is because if you're talking about, if, for instance, if I start putting out content about day in the life videos, right? For personal injury attorneys that they can use to get a higher settlement, and then the next day I'm posting about legacy videos where I'm going to interview the grandparents and and let they can use it for posterity and with their family. And then the next day I'm talking about social media videos, and then the next day I'm talking about podcasting, and then the next day I'm how confused are people going to be? Going to be extremely confused. but we're doing that on a regular basis. And because we can't choose, because we don't have the courage to make the choice to do that one thing, we're stopping ourselves once again from reinforcing what the hell it is that we're doing and why we help people in the first place. I talk to attorneys about this all the time that want to do family law, personal injury, property and casualty, nonprofit, entertainment law. I had a client, and I won't say the name out loud, but I had the client who had 17 different offers, 17 different legal offers, and was wondering why his marketing wasn't working, wondering why he couldn't close clients. I say your entire team is confused. You don't even know what it is that you do. So how can you convince somebody to do business with you if you're confused? If you're confused, that confusion is going, and confused people don't buy. Confused people don't buy, which is why I'm telling you guys, what is the one thing? And stick to that message every day, all day, every day, all day, every day, all day. That's when you start to go a mile deep. That's when people start to see you as a specialist. That's how you build the authority. That's how you build trust. And when you have authority, credibility, and trust, people will buy from you. But if you get to the sales conversation, maybe you lucked out. You got the prospect to the sales conversation and they're not buying. Do you know why they're not buying? Because you have no credibility. You have no trust. You haven't done it. There's no case studies, right? Have you done this before? Who have you done this before? How long have you been doing it? What has the results been? Did they have transformation? Give me some stories of people you've helped. But if you're doing this offer and 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 this offer, and then we're trying to do all of that at the same time, we get nowhere. We're not building anything of value. Nobody's going to buy from you. Does this make sense? Is this resonating? Is this hitting? And
I feel attacked, but it's okay.
all right.
No, no, it
And
is
look,
because I mean, there's like an attorney out there who does motorcycle attorneys only because he says he's a motorcycle rider. He knows all the motorcycle riders. That's his niche.
that's his niche. The riches are in the niches. I'm telling you, the riches are in the niches. We're focused on attorneys. Now, content into clients, I'm opening it up because I just love this space, right? Love the consulting, love teaching, love doing that. But the done for you that we do is strictly attorneys, right? So we know, hey, Will knows, Melanie knows, Dean knows, every person on my team understands what it is that we're doing. So they don't have to continue asking Armando, hey, what are we doing with this client? What are we doing with this client? What are we doing with this client? It's streamlined. So we're bringing it back to marketing. We're bringing it back to content. We're bringing it back to getting rid of head trash so that we can be looked at as the authority in that space so that you can start getting speaking engagements, closing more deals, attracting people to work for you, right? Recruiting is easier. You can step out of being in the day-to-day. But if you're doing all of the things and you're chasing chickens all day, it's hard, very hard to do. And so I'm with this mastermind, I'm challenging everybody here to create content on the regular basis. I had this epiphany yesterday. It was so beautiful how everything's just started coming around. I've had conversations with Roxy and Will and Dean about this in particular. But so I'm getting asked to speak at the 8-Figure Firm Accelerator next month on imposter syndrome and how to overcome it. And I've been marinating on this concept for like the last 3 months, right? Because like I wanna be able to share tactics, but real life actionable items that they can implement to make sure that when they leave, that if they implement those strategies, they're going to grow no matter what, 100% without fail. Like it is guaranteed. If you do this, you will succeed. I promise you. If you do this and you don't question it and you just go, I 100% guarantee that this will work for you. What are you going to get out of it? Increase revenue, sure. Yeah, whatever. Like you're gonna increase your business. You're gonna That stuff is going to happen as a result. What I'm telling you is that if you guys create content on a regular basis and you start your podcast and you're doing all of these things and you're reinforcing the message to yourself over and over and over again, the growth that you will have in the next 6 months will be you will be unrecognizable because the conversations you're going to be having are no longer in this limiting belief system and ceilings that you have for yourselves. You'll be in this abundant mindset that you understand that it's just like there's so much business out there, you couldn't even handle it. If everybody that wants to work with you started working with you tomorrow, you couldn't handle it. But yet we're sitting around going, nobody wants to buy from me. Nobody wants to do this. Nobody, you know what I mean? And this is all limiting belief BS that we have, that because we have those beliefs, we now, the people we're talking to is the mirror, right? So if you have those limiting beliefs, the people are going to feel it. So that when you do ask for the sale, when you're asking them to buy from you, there's a weirdness. And they're like, oh shit, should I buy? Should I? I don't know if I should, right? And it's not stated, right? Like nothing was like actually like, oh my God, I'm a little worried about the sale. But we do that to ourselves all the time in the sales process when when we overtalk and we're trying to justify and we're coming from a desperate perspective. And that is because one, you probably have too many offers. You haven't created enough case studies, right? And results for the thing that you've done so that your confidence isn't quite there, which is why I'm telling you, make sure that you choose the one thing, get deep with it so that you know without a shadow of a doubt that what you do works and what you do helps. And when you do that on a regular basis and you're creating content and you're reinforcing that message to yourself over and over and over and over again, people are gonna buy from you very fast. And the referral partners that you're going to receive, what, as this podcast strategy that I'm talking about, they're going to flow. All these deals are going to come flowing in. Why? Because you're leaving yourself open to it, right? And you're creating this confidence and this abundance, and you're letting go of the head trash and limiting beliefs about what you think that life is going to be like and what sales could be like and all of that BS. Just it's all head trash BS of your own selves, right? And the limiting beliefs that you have. And so I'll go back to this beautiful epiphany that I had yesterday, right? Because it's all going to come together as you're going to see here in a second. So I'm on a call with this guy from Giftology. If you guys haven't read the book Giftology, John Ruland wrote it. Amazing book on how to use gifting as a scaling business tool. He died earlier this year and he was supposed to be on my podcast. I found out that he passed away, but somebody from his team decided that she was going to come onto the podcast anyway. I interviewed her. We created this relationship. It was awesome. She's in our community too. Her name is Sarah Hardwick. So I'm telling her about what we're doing. She invites me to speak at the Giftology group, right? They have a mastermind conference group, and I got to speak over there. I met a guy named Brian McRae, who I interviewed on my podcast yesterday. And we start talking. He's like, at the end of the call, he was like, Armando, so how can I help you? Right. And I'm like, well, I'm doing the done for you with these attorneys, but I am launching this new product, right? Where I'm consulting, I've got my mastermind, and I love that. This lights me up. If you guys can't fucking tell, I'm already, yeah, no worries. I'll see you soon. This lights me up, right? To get people where they need to go and actually create results. And so I started looking at all of the people that we've done this for, right? Rufus, John Glon, John Mashney, all these different people, Daya, and the growth that they experience as a result of creating content and launching their podcast and the confidence that they built. Now Rufus is like, he's got the podcast rolling. He's writing a book. He wants to do more public speaking. He launched a whole YouTube channel. All of a sudden, the possibilities are endless. All of a sudden, the abundance mindset comes into play, and you're like, holy shit, wow, these things I can do. Why? Because I'm creating content on a regular basis. And because of it's the action that we're taking of putting ourselves out there on a regular basis that's creating this confidence. And why podcasting works so well, and the epiphany that I had with improv specifically, there's three rules of improv. The first three rules of improv are say yes and. And if you guys aren't operating in a yes and environment, I highly recommend that you start to implement this yes and attitude. What's up, Kevin? Because yes and moves things forward. Yes and heightens, builds together. When we say no, it goes nowhere. And so if I'm like, Jesse, what's up, dad? Thanks so much for bringing me to Disney. And Jesse's like, I'm not your dad. Be like, great. This story is awesome so far, right? So what does that do immediately to me? Makes me feel like I'm an idiot. He's not accepting what I'm giving him. I'm now, going back and recoiling. And now the story goes nowhere, right? And now we're in a fight. And in an improv, you don't want to be fighting. There can be conflict, but you don't want scenes to be about fighting, right? I can still say, hey, Jesse, dad, thanks so much for being awesome dad and bringing me to Disney. And Jesse goes, son, I really fucking hate you, right? And he could be, but he's still accepting it, right? He's not saying no. He's just giving me a perspective of I've accepted that I'm your dad, and now I have a feeling about you, son. I hate you, right? Yeah, I know that, Dad. And because you hate me so much, right? Like I'm trying to show you a different side of me that you've never seen before. And then Jesse's like, yeah, well, that remains to be seen, right? I brought your other brothers and sisters with us, but I'm bringing you because I kind of have to, right? And now we're okay, that's a fun, interesting thing that we're grabbing onto, and then we can build a story on that, right? That's just improv in a nutshell. But yes, and. So when we're doing a podcast together, me and Kevin, is it scripted? No. Nobody scripted this, right? Unless you all believe that we're being controlled by some supercomputer and all of this has been predetermined and we have no free will, right? But that's a conversation for another day. But it is all improvised. Don't know what Kevin's going to say. He doesn't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say yes and every single time. Kevin, thanks so much for being here. You're a rock star in the space. Let's talk about the people that you help, right? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, and blah, 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 blah. Yes, and I'm building and we're building together. And he has no idea that psychologically this is happening in the background. He just is feeling good because everything he says, I am taking and I'm heightening and I'm building off of it because I'm listening to what he's talking about. That's yes, and. Second thing, say the first thing that comes to your head. Why I put Jennifer through that real quick is because it forced her to answer the questions. And for those of you that are just showing up, we had everybody roll into ChatGPT and create some viral hooks videos so that they can answer it on the phone. And Jennifer over here is a nutritionist, exercise coach. She has a meal prep business and she has a gym. But we're pushing her into the consulting space for nutrition and well-being, right? So she created this. She created ChatGPT created 10 hooks for her, and I forced you to answer the question, right? So what did that do for Jennifer? Put her on the spot, right? She had no way to get out. So what did she have to do? What did you have to do, Jennifer? What give me the thought process and your feelings when I put you through that.
I had to show up and because you peer pressured me in order to, but it built my authority, it built my confidence, just like you said. Like it reminded me of like what I do here and why it's important as well.
This is what podcasting does. This is what podcasting does to an amazing place. Because if I bring Kevin in, or I bring Roxy or Jesse in, and I ask them questions about who they are and what they do and how they help, they have to answer it. We're live. we've got the cameras rolling. And what happens organically with these people is that they pull these things out of themselves, right? The knowledge, the experience, all of the years of the things that they have inside them, and they verbalize it. And they say the first thing that comes to their head. And that creates so much confidence in people, they don't even realize what's happening. But psychologically, because you're pushing yourself to get out of your comfort zone and forcing yourself to answer questions in this way, and it's heightened because we're on a podcast, right? Or we're putting ourselves out on social media and we're forcing ourselves to do that. What it does is it creates, you know what? There is a little bit of a separation, right, between me and other people. Why? Because it's fucking scary to do that. Not everybody wants to do that. And you'll get to the point where this, it's just the run of the mill thing. But when you're first starting out, all of the head trash and the limiting beliefs of why you're not good enough and who's going to listen to you and why should I do this and nobody's watching my stuff and vanity metrics, blah, 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 all of that BS, right? Forcing you to answer these questions. And when you say the first thing that comes to your head, you start to trust your instincts. And when you trust your instincts, that's where confidence is. That's where the confidence lives, which is why I'm telling you guys, content is the unlock mechanism. It is the vehicle to get you guys to where you want to go. Why? Because it's forcing you to say the first thing that comes to your head and trusting your instincts. If you can trust your instincts, oh my God, the world is your oyster. You'll be so abundant. And it only happens as a direct result of putting yourself in those situations where you can't get out. And you have to show up and that's it. And understand that, hey, this is what I did today. I showed up, I answered these questions, and that's that. That's the second thing. Third rule of improv, make your partner look like a rock star, right? If Roxy's on my show and I'm like, Roxy, who do you help? And she's like, well, I help people get over their grief. And I'm like, that sounds boring. Let's talk about something else, right? What happens to Roxy? What happens to Roxy? Walls go up, right? She's disengaged. She doesn't want to be there. She feels small, right? But if, on the other hand, Roxy's like, I'm like, Roxy, tell me about the people you help. I help people get over their grief, right? Oh my God. Like, how necessary is that in today's environment, right? I think we're all sort of, especially in America, right? And this is all improv because you're going, what, how can I take what that person just told me and internalize it and give me a story about how that's relevant to me, right? What's relevant to me is that people in the United States don't talk about death. It's a taboo sort of subject. Nobody really talks about it. Nobody really confronts it. And so we're all living in this state of perpetual taboo conversations when it comes to grief and dying and losing things, right? And so, and then Roxy's like, yes, exactly. That's why people need help. Yes. And, right? Tell me a story about somebody that you helped. Well, I'm going to tell you my story, right? And I won't tell your story here, but but you tell your story that's like super impactful and holy smokes, right? And I'm giving her words of affirmation. I'm building her up and I'm making her look like a rock star so that at the end of the conversation, and this is not why we do it. This is not why we do it. Okay. I'm just telling you that at the end of the conversation, you're going to have a friend regardless. That's what you want. Will it lead to referral partnerships? Will it lead to potential sales? Will it lead to all of that? Yes, that will happen. That is not the goal. That is not what we're leading with. And if you're leading with that, that's the wrong thing to do. Do not lead with that. Do not lead with, oh, I'm about to sell Roxy. I'm about to sell Roxy, right? Like that's not what we're doing here. We're connecting, right? And if as a result we get some deals, that's Langyap. That's what we like to call Langyap here in New Orleans. For those of you guys that don't know what Langyap is, it's just bonus, right? Langyap is just bonus. It's just extra. And that's just the Go Giver mentality, right? If you guys haven't read the Go Giver, if you haven't read Giftology, if you haven't read these books, that's like, how do I add value first? And it's just a better way to have a life, right? Like the journey of life should be full of connections, really digging, not having these superficial conversations. And when we start to do that on a regular basis, which is why the KPI for this group is to do 2 podcasts a week. You've got to be recording 2 podcasts a week at least. And I'm gonna throw the gauntlet down that you guys got to be creating at least 10 pieces of content a week too. And we just saw how easy it was with Jennifer. Jennifer, I say, hey, pick 10 viral hooks. Great. Say the hook, answer the question. And you did it under 60 seconds. That's a video. That's a video. That's a video. Do you guys believe that at the end of September, if you guys have done 8 podcasts with qualified leads or qualified referral partners, and you're putting out 40 pieces of content that is about you and your authority and expertise, do you believe that you're going to attract more people to work with you in some capacity? Do you? I'm just asking. I'm not
100%.
100.
It's not even a question. You will.
Yeah, like
I believe, man.
it just happens, right?
Even will.
Even will. Yeah.
I have.
So
Sorry I was late.
no worries. But that's what we're doing here, right? Is if we can have a workflow for it, because it's one thing to having the intention and want, that's great. But if we're not actually doing and hitting those numbers, then it doesn't matter. And so what we found is in the action, that creates the momentum, that creates the confidence, that silences the inner critic, that brings down those limiting beliefs, that throws the head trash out. And the more confident you get about what you do, the more conviction you have, the higher your sales will become, because people are going to want to be around that energy, right? They're going to want to be around that energy. Holy shit. Like, I just want to be in your ecosystem, right? Because when you start operating at that level and you have this abundance mindset and you're putting out content and you don't care and you have this irreverence when it comes to your podcast and content, people are going to go, I want to be around that. I want that. I believe in what you're doing. Let's roll. Even now more than ever, because it is negative out there. It is negative out there. Everybody wants to tell you about what's going on and the end of the world and blah, 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 right? I choose not to participate in that.
Sounds like opportunity to me.
All day. And I've said this before. Guess what? Guess what will never change? Problems. As long as people have problems, we will have business. Period. At every single point. I don't care how successful you get. I don't care how much money you have. Problems will always be there. You're always going to have problems, no matter what. They're just going to be different problems, right? And at those points, you'll have people in that space that can help you solve that problem. And then you pay that person to solve that problem, right? So if we know that problems are going to exist from here till the end of time, then we know that there's an abundance of business and we know that we can help people. And if we can really dial in what it is that we do with the one thing that we do, and we don't confuse everybody, and they know, and like at that point, like Jennifer, I know somebody that needs nutrition help. Boom. But if you start going this and then this and then this and then this, it confuses me. And then I'm like, well, wait, how should I refer her business again? I forgot. Right? And then you forget because you're confused. But if I see you on social media on a regular basis, saying the same things over and over again, I remember, oh yeah. And when that person needs help, that's the person. How many times have you seen this on Facebook where they're all like, hey guys, I'm looking for a videographer, or I'm looking for a photographer, I'm looking for this, right? And then boom, for us, we get included in that post. Oh, you need to hit up Armando, for your videography needs or whatever. Those things will start happening too for you. Hey guys, I was in an accident. Do you guys know any PI attorneys? Yeah. Gotta contact Mason, right? If you're in California. Does that make sense? So we've got 15 minutes. So what we're gonna do for 15 minutes, we're gonna take action. We're gonna take action. I want you to grab your phone. Grab your phone. And I want you to record at least 5 videos. Go to ChatGPT, get the viral hooks, record them, have them on your phone, and then we'll talk about how to post them to your social medias. Yes? All right. Don't not do it. I'm watching you. I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna record some content. So I'm going to mute myself. But look at the pick about 5 different topics.
I don't know. What happened to my? Can't hear anything all of a sudden. I forgot what's going on. Oof. dang.
I know I got to run. I got to produce a podcast with Harry. Adios, everybody.
Dunzo.
How many videos was that? Oh,
I
she's
did 5.
yeah, I did 5 too.
I didn't really have anything prepared, so I had to go find some scripts real quick.
Yeah, man.
I did a bunch of stuff on like SEO and SEO being dead, even though it's the service I provide, like with AI search,
Yeah.
leaning hard into that.
I love the concept. I love the concept for sure. Look at them. They're going. I love it. I fucking love it.
Hopefully, we're on mute and not screwing them up. Who is that just booked a call?
Y'all can hop back on. Oh, Jennifer's still going.
Armando, are you with Seven Figures also?
In the seven-figure agency? Yeah.
Okay. Because I do have a Seven Figures law thing with them that I just signed up for about a month and a half ago. I
Oh, no,
wasn't
no,
sure if
I'm
it's the
with
same
eight
thing.
figure.
That's different. It's the
I'm with
figure thing.
eight
Okay.
figure firm. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with eight figure firm, but then I'm also part of another group called seven figure agency. Um, how'd it go, Jennifer, Roxy, Jesse, Abizer? Tell me.
Yeah, it went well.
Great.
It went really well. But of course, this is like this is like something new for me. So, but I'm happy I did it and I have it recorded. So I'm gonna play that back very soon. So I'll see how it looks.
You'll put it up today. You will post it.
Yeah, I will. I will, man. I
That's
will.
that's the key. Post it today. Post.
Armand, are you like pitching your brand in this? I don't know. I know it's supposed to be really short and punchy. So you're just like You're asking the question, you're answering the question, you're leaving it there. You're not necessarily presenting a solution.
You can.
You're just breadcrumbing something.
I don't think I don't it depends on how you want to answer the question, right? I don't mind giving them the tea because I don't think that they're going to do it. Most of the time they're not. Some people will, you know what I mean? But I think what people need now more than ever is accountability and prodding, right? Or somebody to like, hey, push this thing along, right? Because could I get information about grief counseling on ChatGPT? Yeah, I could. Would I get anything out of it? Like, you could give me the exact grief counseling playbook that you're going to create. I will do nothing with it because I don't have somebody there facilitating that the workflow, right? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they're scared about putting out their content and giving away the farm. And I'm like, information is pretty much dead. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
ChatGPT exists and AI, and you can get information like that, it's not like coveting information these days is not the way to go. The way to go is you being the person that they trust, that want to get the information from, and then holding their hand through the process, right? Like that's what people want. They want accountability, right? Like Jennifer wants to grow. She wants to grow. We're going to start working together. If I'm not holding her accountable on a weekly basis, it doesn't matter. You can give her all the information. I'm giving it. I'm giving you guys all the information. But if there's not somebody there that's either helping you do it and holding you accountable to it, there's no purpose.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. Just speak your truth. And you're also going to, here's the deal. After this month, if you're doing this consistently and you do it, after this month, the conversations we're going to have are going to be completely different than they are right now.
Yeah. I think that's more the struggle. It's not so much about giving away the information. The struggle for me is like concision, and probably I just need to practice, right? My brain tends to spit this out like on dissertation level, right? Like we could deep dive and go, and there's this, and there's this, and we're laying this groundwork, and then we're doing this. And I think this is a positive ultimately for my business and my consultation is that I have depth and depth and depth and depth and depth. I can go master's, dissertation level on all of this stuff. Where I struggle is to break it down into little sound bites that go on social media or to give people like the little itty bitty pitch and to put it into really simple, straight language for someone who's completely uninitiated to the work. That's where I'm struggling in my content creation. So if you have pointers for me regarding that, that's the struggle. When I was at the
I
startup
got a funny.
of our
Oh, sorry.
content creation, they would have somebody, I would do a brain dump, dissertation style, and then their marketing people would take it and they would turn it into digestible content
Sure.
for everyone else. I need to figure out how to do that for myself, but yeah.
Go ahead, Abizer.
I got a funny story. So back in the day when I was doing IT, I was mesmerized by the nuts and bolts of how things operate, right? And I remember I went into a meeting with a referral partner and myself and the client. And as you walked out, the guy turned to me and said, you had him in the first 6.5 minutes. And I spent the next 20 talking about the nuts and bolts. And I didn't even recognize the guy's eyes had glazed over after the first 4.5 of that nonsense, right? We hear about this thing about benefits versus features, right? And I really got so locked up into all the features in that conversation. I was so enamored by the nuts and bolts, the features of it, that I got totally lost in the sense of what benefit the client actually wanted to receive. So maybe there's something new for you for that, Roxy. We can look at what benefits this person in the next 30 seconds that I can share. So maybe there's something out.
Yeah.
That's gold. Thank you. That's really helpful reframe.
Yeah. And then doing the 40 pieces of content a month. Doing 10 pieces of content a week. I mean, obviously we created 5 in like 10 minutes. It's not hard. right? I think we just make it harder for ourselves, but it is in the doing that you start to figure this stuff out, right? You figure it out and you're like, that's right. That's right. And the epiphanies start to happen through the doing this. I like to call it stage time. You got to have stage time. I became a singer on Bourbon Street, a lead singer of Bourbon Street. And I, when I first started, I had all of the words on an iPad in front of me, and I had to like look at it while singing, you know what I mean? And I was like, it was super mechanical, right? And then all of a sudden, yeah, later, and all of a sudden I made the switch, and then I didn't have to look down and read Don't Stop Believing, right? Like it became so rote for me that like I was doing it without even thinking about it. And so a lot of that stuff will just kind of melt away the more you do, which is why I'm saying, create 10 pieces of content a week or more if you
Get
want.
that habit going. Speaking of which, I got a podcast recording that starts right now.
There you go. Later. I'm about to roll
See you
out.
soon. Let's talk to you about Mardi Gras soon.
Mardi Gras next week.
See
So
y'all.
later, man. So create the content, shoot your podcasts, and everything's just gonna grow. Just happens as a beautiful byproduct. Any questions? No?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This was
Thank you,
great.
Armando.
You're
And I
welcome.
love that prompt too. I love the prompt. Seriously.
Good. Yeah.
I'm gonna use it and
Please
create more.
do. Please do. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop the recording and send it, but